Now, let's talk about some things that I'm reading in the ticker this morning. One of them is the photographer who shot Nirvana's album cover is now trying to sue the band for pornography, right? Well, a nude picture of a child, is that pornography alone, or is it the child has to be in a sex act, right? Right. Now, if that's the problem, if you used to show a little girl or a little boy naked in any movie, right, is that pornography now, right? Because I've seen, I forgot the name of the movie, but Winona Ryder was in it, but it was where one of the dictators, right, and this is when her character was a little girl. Anyway, she was um, naked with a little boy in a riverbed, but they weren't having sex or anything, right? They were babying, right? See, the context, right, of your picture can't just be child nudity, right? That could be artistically done, right? Now, for it to be pornography, the child not only has to be nude, but has to be actually in some kind of sexual state, as if someone is trying to, say, perform oral sex on the child, like I'm making up about my stepdaughter. Like I keep saying, I would only lick her one time anyway. You can't tell that's sarcasm. Most people would know that was something sarcastically said at someone accusing them of that when they were never charged with that for over 11 years, right? You know, because that's all you could even smell her one time, right? To also make sure she didn't pee, you know. See, one, if I'm trying to perform oral sex with her, would be a sex act. The other is not, right? A sex act. One, I'm trying to make sure she didn't pee because she was in the bedroom with her mom all night. If I'm sticking my tongue out at her, right? To smell the crotch area, right? Now, it don't mean I would touch the vagina with my tongue if I'm doing that. Either. It would be more simulated oral sex, right? Which is part of the sarcasm as well, right? Because it's not sex, right? Unless I touch the vagina, right? See, if I'm trying to smell her versus have sex with her, right? And perform oral sex on her, those are two different acts, right? One is allowed because she was in the bedroom with her mom all night. I don't know, she couldn't have peed, right? So I'm making sure, let's say I pull down her panties so she can walk to the bathroom. Well, she's supposed to do that pretty much right away, right? If she gotta pee, right? It only becomes a problem if she lingers around me, right? Instead of going straight to the bathroom, which is the only reason I would think, say she was by the bathroom, right? She'd be by the bathroom, right? Right. Or she was right there in my face and trying to wake me up with her crotch kind of in my face, right? That could be an alternative thing you could think, right? As well. Don't mean, like I told you before when making up the story a different way, that it was sexual or not, right? Just because her crotch is in my face, hypothetically, right? And making up the story, right? Now, the thing is, though, it's called the reveal, right? In other words, I got to explain what I'm really meant to you with the sarcasm, along with an alternative explanation that would make more sense, right? If it makes more sense that I could have been smelling her versus licking her one time, You got to go with the more sensible answer, even if you're trying to make me mentally ill, right? Which didn't happen until I was well into the Navy, right? I was never complaining about hearing voices, right? Or seeing things, even, right? Um, I might have had your typical imaginary friend, right? Like any child would have at that age, right? Between 4 to 5, maybe, right? And, we have our little things we would sleep with as boys or girls, right? I had a teddy bear, like I said, that um, became a vampire, right? And was also my friend, and I got upset when Mom threw him away, right? But she did, and I also got over it, right? You know what I mean? You can't really do nothing about it. But then she made this toy mouse for me, which was light green and pink. So that worked for a while too, right? This is why we were living in Fort Wentworth down Grange Road, right? And again, that's part of the point. So I seen the protege yesterday, and Paw Patrol, and of course this weekend I saw Reminiscence with Hugh Jackman, right? Which is kind of Wolverine-ish itself, right? I mean, and that is a murder mystery, or it's a mystery about how this woman comes into his life, and it's kind of reminiscence of Last Days with Ralph Fiennes and Miss, oh god, I'm forgetting her name, Angela Bassett, right? Where they could record your memories, right? Right. Well, they could do that in Last Days with Ralph Fiennes and Angela Bassett, right? And I think what's her name, Lewis, right, was also in it. I forget their first name, but Julia, maybe something like that. Anyway, where they had this thing that can give you memories up to someone's even their death, right? Right. Look, it can also light your mind or make you crazy, right? Uh-huh. Yep, yep. It was pretty crazy, but right. Mm-hmm. Anyway, and of course, you have Paw Patrol, which that's based on the Nickelodeon show, right? And then you have the Protege, which is based on this Vietnamese character, who Samuel L. Jackson rescues when he's in Vietnam. He gets him a little Fu Manchu. And anyway, there's this Vietnamese girl who murdered the men who murdered her family, right? And he makes her his protege, and he's an assassin, like in the Hitman's Bodyguard and the Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, right? Whatever. But it's kind of a similar character, right? To both, alright. But here's the question: is a child swimming in the pool and you take a picture of it pornography, right? Naked, right? Or does it have to be something of a sexual scene, right? For it to be pornography, right? Like, say you got your head as if you're performing oral sex with the child, right? And it's naked, right? But, alright, we're not talking about a girl child, we're talking about a boy child, right? Right. In the Nirvana video, right? Now, boy child, you can tell if they pee, right? Or have to go or not, right? A girl child, right? But that's what I mean about her crotch being in your face, and then you undress her to pee, right? Either way, but you don't go. It don't mean you're spelling her when she's waking you up, right? You're still asleep, right? Like I said before. Both stories fit to cover something, right? If she came in there or not, and why. And I don't know why. I don't know why. I would have to even guess as to why the child would wake me up. Though one of the reasons could be entrapment from my ex-wife, right? Oh. Right, right. Or she's trying to escort her to the bathroom herself but stays in the bedroom. I catch the child in there alone and then I, you know, take over myself from there, right? Possibly, right? But that's if she was just in the bathroom direction there, right? But if she's really in there with me, the only other reason would be to entrap me, right? To see if I would do something with her, or she wandered in there on her own, like I said, right? None of that is my fault, right? By the way, right? If I'm trying to make sure the child's physically okay and didn't be your man, right? Right. Mm-hmm. It's not illegal. Oh no, it's not illegal to do all that, right? If you don't touch the vagina and the smell, right? And again, unless you got video of it, right? The video don't matter either. Because see, that's called me knowing me, right? I know if the child came in there, even if I got amnesia from the fall, right? Which happened 17 to 20 days later, right? Which is, I was back on base by Friday or Sunday evening, right? At the latest, right? And with amnesia from it all, right? Or most of it within, a certain time, right? Um, which, like I said, even her coming in there can seem like a dream, right? As well. A weird dream you might would have about it, but you're not sure it happened, right? And there's reasons for that, right? Because also I went to sleep before, right? She would wake me up probably too, right? And we're again dealing with what is a real hypothetical, right? Well, a hypothetical ain't gonna be to tell someone like OJ did how to murder your wife, right? In a different way, right? That just means you're thinking about murdering your wife, and the civil trial was just, right? I don't know, of the family, Right. That's the problem with that one. This one, I'm alone on the couch, right? Period, right? Until I move back to base, which is Friday or Sunday evening, or Monday afternoon, right? Before they can get me a room, right? And I don't remember the details about that either, if it was Friday or uh, Monday that I was back on base, right? And that's about, again, a 20-day difference, though it's over a 2-week period before I even fell, right? Now, whoever this person is, they're acting like I did something wrong to the stepmother. Well, none of this is wrong to do to her, right? And you can't prove it is. So you also got to prove I'm trying to do something what with a child? Sexual one, though. Which means touching her vaginal area to sexually stimulate the child, right? It's not just nudity alone, right? Like in the Nirvana album, right? Cover. And that's been out for decades, right? I mean, that too, right? What about Yoko and John, who were actually a couple, and doing a nude photo cover, right? What about that one, right? I mean, I don't know. It still wasn't pornographic. It was still artistically shot, right? So they were a couple too, right? Nudity alone doesn't mean the woman wants sex. Taliban. Or that you have a right to rape the woman, right? Without a burqa on, right? God don't teach you that. Satan does, right? Allah is either a good God or he's an evil God, by the way, Muslims, right? You can't make Allah good and evil, you're making him the devil himself, right? And you're not following Allah, but an evil jinn, if you want to call him that, right? Or a fallen angel, right? Which even Gabriel is mentioned by the Quran, right? Right. Well, Gabriel is the one who spoke to the prophet Daniel, right? Mm-hmm. As is Michael revealed, right? Uh-huh. Now, Satan is revealed in Isaiah, though, as Lucifer. Mm-hmm. Or Halel in the Hebrew, right? And again, I'm trying to get another copy of the Septuagint, right? I'll be doing that soon just to make sure I got more than one copy. I know. And see if I can find it maybe in paperback, right? Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's what the news is dealing with this morning, and the paranoia about the virus out of maybe China. They call the COVID-19. They got a variant called D variant or Delta, right? Which is another way to say that, right? But what happened to ABC, right? Delta would be it's the fourth variant of the virus or something, right? And there's three more out there, by the way, right? Plus Delta, right? But that's the thing. Faith cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. And since the fall, Satan has been talking you into dying with him, idiot. Oh, another thing. What happens to ice when you put it in a bucket or in a glass? What happens to the outside of the glass? It causes condensation, right? Right. Another reason we might be having all these hurricanes is if the polar ice caps are melting, like you suggest. Wouldn't that cause condensation of the atmosphere? And maybe cause hurricanes, right? I don't know, it's just a suggestion, right? Like I said, don't get upset about a suggestion when you're accusing me of something that shouldn't happen either way, you know. And would be weird for either one of us, right? Or all three of us, right? To have to deal with, right? Ain't that the point? Right. And if it happened one time, it was a mistake. Period, right? Whatever the outcome, right? It's not something you normally have to deal with, right? Now, if it worked out with me and my ex-wife, I wouldn't, as time went on, have to, shower her, bathe her, stuff like that, or even dress her for school, or make sure she's ready for school and things like that. Teach her to tie her shoes, right, and things like that, right. With boys, you might use a lasso, right, to teach her how to tie it in a bow tie, right, type thing, right, situation, right. With girls, you might use luck. Mm-hmm. Bunny ears, bunny ears. Right, right. If I know that, you know what I mean? I'm also hip to be square, right? I'm aware of how to teach a child, boy or girl, growing up, how to tie your shoes, right? All right. Have a good morning.